going on, fellow hunters? So JR and I are at the Southern Show in Dalton, Georgia, and we stopped by the Wildline booth. Your name is Justin, correct?
Yes, sir.
Your name's Jacob?
Yep, Jacob.
So this is what initially caught my eye, so I figured we'd stop and just kind of talk about some of the products that you have.
Yeah. So right here we got the Featherlight Lineman's Rope. Sorry, Featherlight Tether. We also have the Featherlight Lineman's Rope. It's one of our best sellers, but this features the WLR hitch. So this hitch allows you to not only adjust it with ease, you don't have to worry about like a prusik getting locked up or having a ropeman that's like made of metal, right? So unlike a ropeman, this can be broken under load, right? So if you have all your body weight in here like that, you can still break this hitch, right?
That's very nice.
And that's nice because if you had like say a ropeman and you had a stick kick out and then you're hanging on your rope, you're not going to be able to break that rope free from that rope. So that's really nice. But that's one of the secondary feature, maybe the primary feature that really sets this tether apart from others is the double locking soft shackle on the eye. And I'm just going to grab one here.
And this thing is super light too.
It's very lightweight. It has practically an Amsteel core. It's made out of Dyneema core, so it's super strong, 5,600 pounds. And then this eye works like this, right? So I would never mess with this unless I was going around a limb. But when you have it wrapped around and you need to go around the limb, you can take this and pop it through once and then pop it through twice, right? Now you can go around your limb and just same concept here, just go back through it once, pull the slack, see how you can pull that slack like that, and then go through it again like that. And then that way you don't have to worry about getting like having a quick link. You know how most people have like a quick link
I'm primarily a one sticker.
Right, so if you're using a one stick, then you probably got like a quick link or something like that. And I'm not a huge fan because the quick links are so heavy, they just drag your tether down and you're like constantly fighting it, trying to keep it up.
Or having to buy something else.
Or having to buy a new little gadget to, you know, to help you out with.
So is there a difference between the tether and the lineman's?
So this is the lineman's.
Whoa, that thing's small.
Very small. This is our best seller.
That thing's crazy.
And it's made out of Kevlar, all of it. There's no Amsteel. A lot of people mistake this for Amsteel, but it's actually Technora, so it's made out of essentially Kevlar. Very heat resistant. Heat's not a big deal on your lineman's rope, but on your tether, heat is a big deal. And if you were to take a fall, you don't want like a Amsteel.
Like a melt.
Yeah, because it would melt.
Yeah.
So this is really rugged, incredibly lightweight. I always use both of them in conjunction. So I always tie in with my tether, and then I'll have my lineman's rope to give me hands-free. You know, I can work hands-free. These are definitely our best sellers as far as.
What's the weight rating on it?
So 3,000 pounds, just under. It's like 2,976 pounds or something like that. It's right at 3,000 pounds. Like I said, it's made out of pure Kevlar, pretty much. The core and everything. So I mean, it's so small, it packs down. I mean, you can put it in your pocket.
And the aider, is it for a certain stick?
Okay, so this is the aider climbing system. Okay, so this is a lot more different than what you've probably seen before. Yeah, so I try to explain it. It's like setting sticks and one sticking together, right? So how it works is you take your tether, you'd put your tether on, and then you would take this daisy chain and you'd put it right up under your tether. You would take this loop and hook it into any one of the loops of the daisy chain wherever your step height is. It's comfortable. You'd set that in there like that. This is a bungee. That bungee will pop off of the hook, and you can girth hitch this in to your saddle and pop it back on the hook. That way you don't ever lose your aider. So pop it in like that. Once you climb to the top steps, you'll pull out a new daisy chain. You'll put that new daisy chain right up under your tether, put your tether as high up as you can get, and then kind of like one sticking, unlike one sticking where you have to reach down, grab your stick, and then reapply it, all you got to do is just put your weight in your saddle and grab the bungee, and it'll pop up, and you'll put it in your next daisy chain. So the system comes with 4 daisy chains, and that'll get you about 20 foot high.
So you don't have to take the daisy chain off as you go up?
You leave the daisy chain, and you can rappel. I recommend the rappelling out and just grabbing your daisies on the way down. But if you want to go back down backwards, it's really no problem at all. The whole system weighs about a pound, a little over a pound, so it's super lightweight.
Super light.
Yeah. And only, I tell people, like, the biggest con is crooked trees. Like, crooked trees, if you've ever tried to climb an aider on a crooked tree, you know, especially a longer aider, you know,
down here you start getting a little bit of kick out.
Yeah, you get a little bit of kick out. So crooked trees, not necessarily the best.
And you could pack this thing up.
Right, so this is the whole setup here. That's 4 daisy chains and the aider.
20 foot, and you could shove this thing in your pocket.
Right, just about, yeah. If you had like a cargo pocket or something, yeah,
sure.
You could stick it in there. You know, if you decide this isn't the way you want to hunt, or you have sticks that you want to use, you can just take this off and just pop it on your stick like that, right? So now you've got a movable aider, same concept, use your bungee to keep it attached to you, and the same concept applies. You could climb up. I know some sticks might not be able to handle the hook, so you need to make sure, but something like the Shikar is fine. You can put it up here if you wanted, down here, and the same thing, you just literally lift up the bungee and then move it to your next stick. Or you could take the hook off and hook it up like this. And if you don't have cutouts, what you would have to do is you'd have to take off each side, right? So all these steps are movable, right? So these steps adjust. Nice. And then that way you can figure out what you like best.
That's pretty cool. You just kind of...
Yeah, it's super handy for, you know, springtime where you can make that bigger step.
Look how adjustable that is.
In the fall, that step reduces. So.
Seconds. And it like bites so quick that...
Yeah, it's...
there's no slip in it.
There's no slip, and too, so I know a lot of people have problems when they put like tubing and stuff over their steps. It'll either sag, which increases your step height, and a lot of people don't consider that. And I would say the biggest mistake people make when buying an aider is they always want to try to get the most out of their step height, and they don't account for those added layers of winter and boots
and the sag of the step.
I've literally, like, if I put my bibs on, I can literally lose like 6 inches of step height. The last thing I want people to do is have to be struggling to use their aider, because I've been in the position where I had to literally pick my leg up.
Or you're coming down and you get stuck, so you're standing there and you have to go and pull it off the step.
What's nice is these steps don't freely spin, right? So they're not just going to spin like a tubing or something like that. Like, they got a little bit of rock in them, but they're not going to freely spin on you.
So you're not just going to slip off the...
And if, like me, I'm a habitual tinkerer, you know, I got to mess with something. So I got on Amazon and bought some reflectives and glow strips. The glow strips are awesome. They work really good. And I put a little bit of clear heat shrink over them just to protect them a little bit. Or if you like, if you think that's too loud, you can get some Uncle Lou's stealth strips and just stealth strip the tape. That stuff's super durable. I don't know if you guys used it before, but it's super durable. I've got it on my aider climbing system. So
it almost doesn't come off when you want it to come off.
Yeah, I know, dude. Tell me.
And then I guess the last thing is the Chamics.
So the Chamic is, this is my go-to hunting system. I love hunting out of the Chamic. It's super easy, super light. These things weigh about a pound. Yeah, take that bottom and pull it out from under you there.
Ooh. It's kind of weird when you sit down there the first time.
It takes time. Once you figure it out, it's not a big deal. I mean, you know, I've spent hundreds of hours in this thing probably. I love it. Bow hunting, gun hunting, especially gun hunting. You know,
it's better than sitting on a metal stand.
Yes, we're trying to offer 2 different versions. So we got a slightly cheaper one that's just the stuff sack, like a regular normal stuff sack, and then we got the slightly more expensive version here. These feature a toggle. It'll actually fit in these loops.
So you can hang it in the front.
And that way you have a bag that hangs there, and you don't have to take the bag on and off. You can actually leave it attached and stuff it all back in this main storage bag. The internet.
Wildlineropes.com.